C-SPAN's local content vehicles are traveling the country, visiting cities and communities as we look at issues impacting the nation. We now take you to Cobo Arena in Detroit for the North American International Auto Show, where we caught up with several members of the industry involved with battery-operated vehicles.
So roughly about 2 to 3 years ago, the state of Michigan sought out to actually take the future of the auto industry and put some things in motion. Obviously it was during the time of the economic downturn. We were struggling as a state, we were struggling with the automotive industry, and what we found was that the future of the automotive industry was really in vehicle electrification and in fuel efficiency. So we put together a plan that was actually to bring advanced battery manufacturing and the electrification of the vehicle to the state of Michigan. We put together state incentives, and we actually helped attract companies to the state of Michigan. And during that time is actually when the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009 was coming out. And there was a section in that bill that was slotted for $2.4 billion to go towards vehicle electrification programs. We found that as we paired our state incentives with the companies that we were trying to attract to go after those federal incentives, that we were very successful, actually to the tune of just over $1.3 billion coming to the state of Michigan out of a $2.4 billion pool. So really, the state of the industry and the future of the industry is moving towards further vehicle electrification. So the consumer should expect to pay a little bit extra for these electric vehicles, whether it be a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid or a full electric vehicle. And what's really the challenge right now is battery costs. That's what we're seeing here at the state, is that those battery costs are significant enough to really drive the prices up. And it's hard to get the full return on investment for the standard consumer. So a lot of the early adopters are going to be purchasing these vehicles because they have a vested interest in getting themselves off of oil, whether it be because they care about the environment or they like the latest in technology. But the battery prices are really probably the most. The battery prices are really what's holding back the mass adoption and the cost parity of these vehicles compared to conventional vehicles. As we evolve down that era, you'll see some changes and there'll be some new understanding for the consumer of what to expect in these vehicles. And first and foremost, we're going to have to change the way that we refuel. So we're not going to pull into the gas station and fill up with gasoline anymore as we adopt these new technologies. We can plug in straight from home. We can plug in when we get to the workplace. We might go to the shopping mall or to the grocery store and plug in while we shop. And that electricity might come to us free because those retailers want to get us into their stores and spend time, shopping or purchasing groceries or what have you. And so we're going to see some different lifestyle changes. Some that may make life a lot easier, and some that might be a little bit difficult as we learn to adapt.
You'll notice over here to my left, we're showing the 220 charging station. Now what's so great about the Volt is that it can be charged on either a household outlet, so 110, which will take 10 hours to charge, or you can purchase a 220 charging unit for your home, have it installed, and that's going to cut the charge time down to 4 hours. This is the 120 charging unit. Any standard household outlet, as you can see, it's a 3-prong plug. Just plug it in. And as I stated earlier, this charging unit will take roughly 10 hours to charge a completely depleted battery. Or again, you can purchase the 240 charging unit that needs to be installed into your home, and that one will cut the charge time down to 4 hours. When consumers purchase a Volt, they can talk to their local Chevrolet dealership about purchasing the unit itself from SPX. It's a $495 option, and then install starts at about $1,495. What that includes is pulling permits, making sure your home's up to code, and the installation of the unit itself. And of course, prices will vary.
Our station is set up so that the owner of the station will determine the rate that they want to charge the people using it, if anything at all. It's really not a money maker for the station owner. It's more of an amenity, in our opinion. So it's similar to providing vending machines in your building, or what used to be paper payphones. It's a heavily incentivized market at this time. Some of the industry leaders have large DOE grants in providing free public charge stations. There's a federal tax credit that actually was just extended at the end of last year that provides up to a 50% tax credit for the cost of the charge station and installation of the unit up to $50,000, which is critical, which is important for us. Each state has their own incentives, and they vary from state to state. But there are quite a few incentives, and particularly on the vehicle side, there's incentives for the vehicles as well too. We're of the opinion that any federal funding or any federal incentives should go to the property owners or the facility managers. Right now, we're competing against free, and free is tough to compete with. So, in our opinion, the people purchasing the units, which are going to be your property managers and your facility managers, they should be the ones that should be getting any type of incentive, not necessarily the manufacturer. But that's our opinion.
C-SPAN's local content vehicles are traveling the country, visiting cities and communities as we look at issues impacting the nation. For more information on our local content vehicles, go to our website at cspan.org/LCV.